media control, or the control of the narrative, seems to be kind of the central focus of this war on populism. And man, we've seen that so clearly in the last year or so. When we talk about the populist movement and growing populist movement, and even look down the road a little bit to coming elections, can the populist movement continue to grow and continue to develop with the way the media is suppressing things like what's happening on the border and like some of these other policies that the Biden administration is pushing forward?
Well, the media at least is asking questions about the border for the first time in a while, which is good. But where populist movements have been successful, they've been successful in spite of the media. In Italy under Salvini, in Trump had Twitter. They had alternative platforms. I think the one thing that we have to understand is that private corporations are really the enemy to get expressing ourselves. It's not the government. And I mean, we have all these documents and all these court decisions protecting us from governments trampling on speech, when we really have to worry about private corporations trampling on speech and woke capitalism trampling on speech. The other thing that I think that they need to analyze when it comes to what the media has done is we don't have necessarily a liberal media. We have an establishment media. The media has a belief system on major issues. The media, for example, is always pro-war. The only day that Trump got 58 of 59 national publications to write glowing praises of him in their editorials was the day he bombed Syria. They worshipped Obama for getting involved in Libya. They praised George W. Bush for getting involved in Iraq, which people don't remember now, but back in 2002, 2003, MSNBC, New York Times, NPR, you name the publication, they were for the war in Iraq, even left-wing ones. We have a very pro-war consensus. And now what we have is also a very pro-critical race theory consensus coming out of the media. Yeah, that has to be broken. It has to be challenged. It's not going to be challenged by people who are afraid to even talk about the topics.
Yeah. Do you think there is a path forward for that? We talk about alternative media. This is where my hope lies personally, and some people disagree with me on this, but my hope is not Facebook and Instagram and YouTube opening up or seeing the light. It's individuals creating their own platforms and normal people learning that way.
No, that's never going to happen. Because you cannot create your own platforms in this kind of environment, because you can't create your own banking. You can't create your own Apple store. You can't create the platforms necessarily that do the hosting. All of those things cannot be created by an individual. It is a monopoly right now. And what we need Republicans, for the first time in forever, to not worry about political power and actually start breaking up these corporations and using political power to break up corporations and to create protections on political speech by corporations. I mean, unless we use political power against entities, we are not going to get anywhere. It's not going to be like Fox News being created after CNN was created because there was more competition. That's not the answer.
So it's a reformation that comes through politicians.
It has to come through political power. Political power has to be used to stop woke capital. We'll talk about something else for a second. It's going to be the biggest threat to the Second Amendment is not the Biden administration or any executive order he's going to come. It's going to be Walmart and Dick's Sporting Goods and Chase Bank telling you can't buy a gun anymore.
Agreed.
There's no answer to woke capitalism that comes with competition or the market. It comes through the power of the government making sure the market can run, because these corporations are literally stronger than most government entities at this point.
Right. Wow.
Well, are they going to do it?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you have to see the evolution of these candidates. And if you're going to support a candidate either through a vote or through a financial donation, these are the questions worth asking them. You can't just ask them, did you support President Trump? That's not a real question to ask them. It's not a question to ask them, do you support, building a border wall? There's a general consensus about 99% of Republicans believe that. You didn't ask them, do you believe in reducing legal immigration? Do you believe in creating merit-based immigration? Do you believe in using the government to take on big tech? How do you support taking on big tech? If they have an answer aside from just, saying repealing Section 230 is great, but it's not enough. And I don't think there's an old saying from Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to end up botching it, but old beliefs of yesterday will not answer the calls of tomorrow. If the answer for the Republicans is still a dying version of Reaganism, then we're going to lose. We can't be afraid of government power. We can't be afraid. We can't worship the free market. We can't do the things that we have been trained to do for 40 years from a Cold War consensus. Those will never provide us with the answers necessary to actually fix the problems of today and coming tomorrow.